Hattiesburg, and a pleasant day to all our listeners. This is Abby, your host for Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm here to bring you updates, news, and more from our community. To add to all the excitement today, we have Mississippi Moments with Johnny Bolter and News Wrap with Subi Lama to ensure that you're up to date on all the hottest topics. And guess what? We have some very special guests for you, Alejandra Wooten. You definitely want to stay tuned for what they have to share with us today. But before we jump into all the fun, here's a quick message from our sponsors. So hang tight because we'll be right back with more Southern Miss Today.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. In campus news, this evening there will be a Clyde Kennard lecture. Clyde Kennard was the first African American to attempt to enroll at Southern Miss in the 1950s. In honor of him and his legacy, the lecture commemorates Kennard's experience as an unsung civil rights activist. He represented a movement for racial integration of higher education throughout the state and the nation. This is the second annual Kennard Lecture, and USM professor Matthew Delmont will be hosting it. The title of his talk is Half American, the epic story of African American fighting World War II at home and abroad. The event will take place in Joe Paul Theater this evening from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Also in campus news, today through Thursday, October 17th, there will be the Points for Pints blood drive. Mississippi Blood Services will be on the Hattiesburg campus for this blood drive as part of Homecoming Week. Faculty, staff, and students are asked to donate and give the gift of life. It will be held on West Memorial Drive outside the Thad Cochran Center at 10 a.m. today through Thursday. In Hattiesburg news, the Forest County branch of the NAACP hosted its Youth and College Council's Advocate Banquet Sunday. The event was an opportunity to spotlight the youth and provide an important learning experience. The organization also holds etiquette classes for youth in order to prepare them for different settings. Sunday's banquet was used to teach young people about their past and encourage them to take part in their own future. The organization's next project will be a Thanksgiving food box giveaway. In Mississippi news, Jackson State is considering an empty Marriott Hotel as a potential solution to their housing crisis. President Marcus Thompson suggested the project of purchasing the Jackson Marriott for $5 million. The campus has only half as many available beds for undergraduates, not including anyone outside of the undergrad program that may be eligible for campus housing. Housing has been an ongoing and growing issue for universities over the recent years. Originally, Thompson intended to get the money to build a new housing hall, but he turned his goal towards the purchasing of the hotel. In national news, Wealthy Wage is holding a drive called Cash for Candy. It is encouraging that anyone with leftover Halloween candy to send it in return for money. The candy will be donated to our troops, veterans, and military families in need. For those that are interested, you can ship candy to Friends of the Troops and get $10 per pound of candy. You can send up to 10 pounds of candy for $100 in return. Healthy Wages is offering up to $10,000 overall. The event is on first-come, first-served basis. Visit the Healthy Wage website to find out more and fill out the form to contribute. That's your news update from Southern Miss Today. Next, we'll have the latest in sports and weather, so stay tuned. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you Mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back with our action-packed sports segment. Let's dive into the latest scores, highlights, and sports. Get your jerseys on because it's game time. Our next football game, the homecoming game, will be against Arkansas State this Saturday, October 19th. Go Eagles! On Wednesday, October 16th, the men's tennis team will be playing in the ITA Regionals. On Thursday, October 17th, and Friday, October 18th, the women's volleyball team will be playing against South Alabama. Also on Friday, track and field will be at the Crimson Classic. On Saturday, October 19th, as well as the football game, the men's golf team will be playing at the Fallen Oak Golf Club. Head to southernmiss.com to keep up with all the Golden Eagle sports activities. As for weather today, look for a low of 59 with a low chance of rain and a high of 81. The feels like for today is 50 to 84 degrees. Tomorrow, look for a low of 46 and a high of 68 with a low chance of rain as well. Tomorrow's feels like is 37 to 67 degrees. Up next, we have Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center of Oral History and Cultural Heritage, with Johnny Bolter on his time as a machinist for the railroad and the Army. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi, and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. When Johnny Balzer graduated high school, his father insisted he work for the Illinois Central Railroad. He explains how that experience as a machinist apprentice kept him out of a foxhole during World War II.
My father, he says, you're going to go work for the railroad. I had other things I was going to go do. You're going to the railroad. Well, when I went for the railroad, I got 2 years in. I got my apprenticeship on all the machines. And then, of course, the war came along, and I went into the Army. And when I went to Camp Shelby, they asked me what I did in civilian life, and I said I was a machinist apprentice, which I was, still was. And they said, would you like to do that in the Army? I said, I think I would. And so they sent me to an ordnance company in North Carolina, Fort Bragg, and found out that those 2 years were adequate, more than adequate for what I was doing in the Army. Look, if it hadn't have been for that railroad, when I got into the Army, I could have been in the Emperor and had my head shot off.
Bill Ellison hosts Voices of Our People, World War II, a new podcast from Mississippi Moments, sponsored by the Mississippi Humanities Council. That's Voices of Our People, World War II, wherever you get your podcasts.
That was your Mississippi Moment for today. Coming up, we have the pleasure of hearing from Alejandro Wooten.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Alejandro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And just to let you all know that USM is my alma mater, I graduated in 1993. So I'm very excited about that. Currently, I am the executive director of the Hasbro Arts Council, and we have some wonderful things going on. You know how October is a very busy time of the year for festivals and things of that nature. So to contribute to that, and something that is an event that has been happening for 31 years, is the Brown Bag concert series. Okay, that takes place behind City Hall, where you have the fountain, the fountain park, basically. Okay, so at this point we have 2 more performances, and one is going to be with Matthew Williams, and he's going to perform keyboard because that is our tribute to Brian Blair. Brian Blair was a local, very famous kind of piano player, and that's going to be wonderful. The food is going to be by Mercury Pizza. The next performance on the 24th is by the Lucky Strokes, which is going to be fantastic. Their food will be provided by the Porterhouse, which is going to be great, and so we're looking forward to that. The lunches are $8. You do not have to buy our lunches. You can bring your own lunch, or you can just come and enjoy the music. So it's a wonderful experience for everyone involved. Okay, and then I want to segue into something that I think is very important for the community because this involves the community. Every year, I don't know how long this has been going on, but we have the Emerging Artist exhibit, which includes people from the community who are not artists that, let's say, have their own gallery or have representation somewhere that is a commercial kind of situation. They can submit their artwork. Also, there's a high school exhibit that we do to where the local schools, public schools, private schools, and things of that nature are allowed to show their work. Now, the deadline for submissions is November 4th. And to find out and to see the application form, you need to go to our website, which is Hattiesburg Arts Council. HattiesburgArtsCouncil.com. Okay. When you go there, you go to the Call for Artists menu. You find out what's going on. If you see posters around town, we have a QR code that will take you directly to it. Also, this particular year, the reception goes from 3 to 5. We recognize our artist at 3:45. From 4 o'clock into 3:15, we're going to debut our Poet Laureate, which is a kind of a new program that we have. And our Poet Laureate, her name is Jennifer Peterson. To my knowledge, she's connected with USM in some way. Don't know exactly, so I'm not going to go into that. And then, now, we have also between 3:15 and 5, Hattiesburg High School concert choir. They're going to give a performance. They're under the direction of Gary McCullum. They have gone major in that they are going to be performing at Carnegie Hall. That is one of the biggest... And they're not paying to do that. They've been invited to perform at Carnegie Hall. So with that, that's a major, what can we say, honor for all of us here at Hattiesburg, that not only are they performing with us, but they're doing some major things. So we're really proud of that, and we want to showcase them.
Okay, thank you.
And it's free and open to the public. Again, the actual show is going to be Saturday, November 16th, which is like I said, a Saturday, and things of that nature. And it is free and open to the public.
Okay, thank you. That was a wonderful rundown. Of
Yes.
what you're here to talk about.
You like that?
That was lovely.
Okay,
Thank you.
then. All right.
Could you tell everyone about what you do specifically in the Arts Council?
Well, the Arts Council is an organization that has existed since 1970. They received their foundation, I guess you could say, from patrons in the arts that wanted to bring really the things that happen on not only this campus, but I do have to say on the campus of William Carey and things of that nature, to the general public. So that was their mission, to find artists, local artists, even artists that do show at USM, to the general public. And so that was their mission back in the day. And also we promote other organizations that are doing things. We don't mind using our Facebook page to say, this is happening, that's happening. Be here, be there. This is worthy of your time, worthy of seeing what is going on in this town. And this town, again, is so rich in the arts. Yes, of course, we have sports and we have the things of that nature that are a part of our culture. But at the same time, the arts are, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just immense and rich and beautiful.
So you did mention about social media
Yes,
and how
uh-huh.
y'all promote people.
Yes.
What else do y'all do to promote arts in Hattiesburg overall?
Overall, I would say, again, we're probably one of the only organizations that still sends out hard copy invitations to the things that we do. We try to make almost all of our events free and open to the public. Every now and then, or every year, every other year, we will do a fundraiser. So sometimes there is a small fee to get into the door of what we're doing. But at the same time, we want to, let's say a fundraiser that's not $250 a plate to sit down and do what you need to do. It's $25 to come in and have a cocktail and have a good time. So we want to always be available and accessible to the general public.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And as you mentioned, the community is very rich in the arts.
Rich.
What do you personally think the arts contribute to the well-being of the community?
Well, the thing about it is the arts, as far as mental and physical and just wellness in general, when you have the arts that are available, let's say another thing we do right now, we have a drum circle. People come and they drum. And the drum, let's say, is an instrument that is tied to the heart. If you have a heartbeat, you don't need to be able to read music to drum along and to feel good about what you're doing. So we're always trying to convince people that the arts are something that we are born with. It's not something that you have to take a class in. It's not whatever. The arts are a part of who we are. So culture in general has a lot to do with the artistic influences that we have, be it visual, be it dance, be it music. We all possess that, okay? And because we possess that, that's something that we need to celebrate and understand it throughout. I don't care if you're a child or you're, in your tweens, teens, whatever, or you're considered to be an elder. You can participate, have fun, and love your life and love yourself.
Okay. Back on the call for artists.
Yes.
Even if you're not someone who has a gallery or representation or isn't even able to do this, what advice would you give to anyone trying to get involved with either the arts starting off or anything bigger?
Anything bigger? Well, the thing about it is just always kind of keep the perspective of maybe if you're an artist and let's say you draw, you paint, you sculpt, whatever you do, start thinking about how you're going to expose yourself, either through your own Facebook page or your own website. I always advise someone, especially this comes to the commercial end of it. When you start out, keep your prices real low. You can always take them up, but you don't want to have to take them down. Okay, don't come in and say and create something and say, "Oh, I'm gonna charge $5,000 for this." No. Start out. This is $50. Then let's say when you start to sell a ton of those $50 items, then you can take them up to $500, let's say. Then you sell a bunch of those and you can take it up higher. Don't think too much of yourself, because when you start out, you need to be humble. Okay, and that's a big part of the arts. Also, because I have a degree in the arts, if you can seek a degree, especially at USM has a magnificent program in the fine arts. Try, if you can, to get an education in the arts, because that will take you further than any place you could ever possibly go.
And of course you don't even have to be majoring in the area. This isn't my major. I'm not a media major. I'm a forensics major.
Exactly.
I'm also in the choir here.
You're in the choir.
Completely unrelated.
Fantastic.
It's a very confusing situation where it's like, you're radio host?
Yeah.
Oh, you're media. No, forensic science. Oh, you're choir too.
Yeah.
What happened?
Exactly. Don't know.
But it's something that personally I like to find doing myself, where it's like a release and a way to portray how I feel about things. So you don't even have to
Yeah.
obviously a major is helpful.
And understanding yourself. Like, luckily I didn't change my major that many times, but I guess it comes down to sometimes if your parents are okay with it, if you have to change your major from what they thought you needed to major in, from let's say business and finance or whatever, like a lot of parents want you to do, and you say, well, I'm interested in dance, or I'm interested in whatever. You can always get a minor in it. You can always at least take the classes in it to be versed in it, and you never know where it's going to take you, especially when, let's say, I am from Meridian. I came here to go to college. I graduated and I went to Atlanta and spent a lot of years. But I spent a lot of years in Europe, New York, and blah, 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 blah. Now, with that said, it was because of my exposure to the arts that allowed me to do all those other things, right? So we have to realize that sometimes, especially when we're younger, in our high teens and early 20s, we don't know where our life is going to take us. Waiting tables is great because we make money. There's so many things that we have to do when we are in that middle stage of our lives, right?
Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned about our community here being very rich in arts, this school, I have not been to other schools. This is my school. But this school is they work very well with people that even aren't in the majors.
Exactly.
Like there's a separate choir you can do for scholarships if you're not in the major. And they do the enjoyment of music and theater classes. And it's very nice.
Very nice.
And I did not realize that's not an entirely common thing throughout about a bunch of schools. I was like, oh, okay, I like this class. This is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And from what I understand, there's a lot of the professors, I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn or whatever, but a lot of professors, if you show interest in something, they'll let you sit in on their classes. Am I correct?
Yeah.
They kind of like, okay, if you want to sit in a day or two in something that has absolutely nothing to do with whatever, they're open to it.
I've seen a lot of professors that they'll be like, oh, we're doing this. Why don't you stop by?
Just stop by,
Because they want to get people involved in anything that they would possibly be interested in.
Yes, ma'am, indeed.
Well, is there any other events that are coming up after these two that you mentioned?
After two, well, the thing about it is, Hattiesburg Arts Council tends to have an event pretty much every single month. We have our fiscal year is a thing that goes from July of whatever year to June of the next year. So, and all of that will be written into our MAC grants and our proposals for our funds and things of that nature. So the best way for you guys to find, or anyone out in the public to find out what we're doing in real time, is to like us on Facebook. And with that is the Hattiesburg Arts Council Facebook page, and also our website, which is HattiesburgArtsCouncil.com. That will keep you up to date as to what we're doing. Yes, we do have a lot more coming up, but a lot of the lot more coming up is a little hard to explain in let's say this particular interview. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because it'll have click-throughs and sign up here and sign up there. And if I try to go into that right now, everybody be like, oh, I don't remember what you said about Call for Artists, or I don't remember what you said about Brown Bag.
Guys, click through the audio.
Yeah.
Click through the radio.
Click through.
On your radio.
Click through. Please click through.
Well,
Okay.
thank you so much
Yes,
for coming in
ma'am.
today.
I'm glad that you guys had me here. Again, every time I come on campus, I get a certain feeling that I just I don't know, it excites me and I love it, and I don't know what else to say. It's fantastic.
Coming up, we've got Subi Lama reporting on Ed Young's presentation at the University Forum.
For Southern Miss Student Media Center, I'm Subi Lama. Science journalist Ed Young came to Bennett Auditorium as part of the Honors Forum Speaker Series. Young is a former staff writer at The Atlantic and recipient of the Pulitzer Prize. During his forum presentation, Young discussed themes from his 2022 New York Times bestseller and Andrew Carnegie Medal-winning book, An Immense World: How Animal Senses Reveal the Hidden Realms Around Us. Here's what he had to say.
A chapter in the book about pain and how animals experience pain and how many of them experience maybe if not exactly the same kind of sensation that we experience and describe as painful, then something akin to that. I think that is one of many axes that we should consider when thinking about issues like animal welfare, research, whether we eat animals or not. Right? These are complicated issues, and I'm not going to pretend or offer simple answers to any of them. The other piece of it that you asked about, our attitudes to the natural world, I think is a little bit more straightforward.
As the world continues to face global challenges that require scientific understanding, voices like Young's play a crucial role. SM2 Suvi Lama.
Thank you for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. We are thankful for Justin Ware, our audio engineer, and Michaelin Williams, our film producer, for keeping this bird soaring. We especially want to thank our program director, Shania Williams, our executive producer, Owari, and our assistant producer, Adeline Fields, as well as our general manager, Dr. Martin. Also thanking our guest today, Alejandra Wooten. That's all for Southern Miss Radio. Thank you all for listening. Remember, fly, eagle, fly. I'm your host, Abby Buzagard, signing off. Stay creepy.
Sponsorship comes from Southern Beverage, your local Michelob Ultra distributor. Michelob Ultra has significantly fewer carbs and calories per serving if you are watching those in your diet. You can reach Southern Beverage by phone at 601-268-9111, or you can find them on the internet at southernbeverage.com. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri, and Southern Beverage ask you to please drink responsibly.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ed Simpson, Director of the School of Media and Communication at USM. Join me on Southern Miss Radio Friday afternoons at 12:30 for a new show, News You Need. On News You Need, USM students will discuss current events and why those events are important to them. Listen in on how the future citizens of the U.S. consider news and how those news events affect their lives. Join me for News You Need, Fridays at 12:30 on Southern Miss Radio.